Well, hey, good evening. Welcome back to my little gardening show. Tonight, I wanted to spend some time talking about the Mittleider gardening method. In particular, I wanted to talk about the cost. I wanted to try to give you an idea how much it would cost to actually feed the plants over the course of a growing season. So we got to looking at the components, and basically, if you follow the Mittleider method, it's kind of a two-step process. The first step is to prepare the beds, which requires 2 pounds of the preplant mixture and a pound of the weekly feed uh, to get things going. And every week after that, it's a pound of the weekly feed. So over the course of a average growing season, let's say hypothetically it's like 28 weeks, April through October, that's quite a bit of fertilizer you're putting on the ground and quite a bit of plant food. Now albeit it's natural minerals, natural inputs that you're putting there, but it's still an awful lot of water soluble nutrients you're putting in the ground. So, fortunately, the plants are going to be using quite a bit of that. If you've got plants growing, as they're going to be producing fruit and whatnot, they're in different varieties going to have different nutritional demands, but for the most part, a lot of that's going to be taken up by the plants. It's not going to leach out down into the water table if you follow the recipe, and you're not over fertilizing. So, how much is it going to cost to do this? To do the 2 pounds of the pre-plant mixture per bed, 18-inch by 30-foot bed, and 1 pound of the weekly feed. How much? Well, on average, it's going to be about 15. It's going to be $15 for me to do 15 of those beds, or $1 per bed. That's 18-inch by 30-foot long, roughly. And again, these are just kind of rough figures, pricing out the materials. Altogether, it's going to be about $418 over the course of the growing season, or $15 a week for me to do this, follow the recipe or the prescribed method. The pre-plant mixture, to make enough to do 15 of these beds all at once, it's going to run me about $12 to make it, and that's not bad. It's because lime is pretty cheap. Agricultural lime, you get a 40-pound bag for like $4. Get a big old box of borax, which only needs 6 ounces. That's less than $3, and 24 ounces of Epsom salt's about $5. So $12. But to make the pre-plant or the weekly feed, each time I make it, I'm going to need a 25-pound bag of 16, 16, 16, 4 pounds of Epsom salt, and one of those little micronutrient packets that's got the 13 essential minerals from growfood.com, and that's $13.95 a piece to get that. So, and that's enough fertilizer basically to last 2 weeks of the season to fertilize 15 beds that are 18-inch by 30-foot long. It's enough to last 2 weeks if I make that mix once. So if I have a 28-week season, I'm going to have to make that mix 14 times. I'm going to need like 56 pounds of Epsom salt, 14 of those nutrient packets, and 14 bags of the 16, 16, 16. So the nutrient packets are like $13.95 a piece. The Epsom salt is going to cost me around, a couple dollars for a pound. And the 16, 16, 16 is going to be about $12 or so to get a bag of that. And again, these are all just kind of rough figures. So, worst case scenario, if everything was going from start to finish, all 15 beds, I was cultivating them all at once, and I was going a solid 28 weeks. it's going to be about $418 or $15 a week or $1 for each of those beds. So you think about that, for the average gardener, that is pretty affordable. Pretty affordable, um, inexpensive way to grow food. Um, as far as if you're using plant food or fertilizers to supplement your plants and whatnot. So those are just some preliminary figures. Again, I plan on keeping track of things, and kind of hope to make a video at the end of the season, kind of tallying up all the costs. Because if I go all out and really follow this, there's a lot of other things that can be done. Like building T-frames to grow vertically. Installing an automatic watering system. That's a whole nother expense. Putting up a deterrent, for the deer that are going to be, I'm going to need to consider, since I'll be kind of growing out in the out of town this go around, or outside city limits. Let's see what other costs am I going to have. I've got most of the seeds already. So anyway, as depending on how far I go in all this, I'll try to make videos detailing what I'm doing and how much it costs, and then again hope to make a summary video at the end of the season, just as I kind of wrap up or a review of this whole method. And so anyway, if you have any questions or comments or whatnot, feel free to post. I hope things are going well for you guys. That's all for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.